Niner Gang, what's good? You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jay Senior. Coming your way on today's show, going to answer all of your 49ers news and rumors related questions. It's already been a fascinating offseason, and we're only getting started with NFL free agency kicking off in less than a month, and then the NFL draft after that at the end of April. We start off this mailbag with this question coming in from one of our most faithful and loyal subscribers. He is Niner Faithful. Hey, Chase, if we actually get the Commanders' 11th pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, what are the chances that Sauce Gardner falls to us? I think there's a pretty good opportunity that Sauce Gardner does fall to San Francisco. I think that he's going to be available in that middle portion of the first round. The problem for San Francisco is if they don't trade up, if they don't get that pick back from Washington, he's not going to be available in the second round because it's a really good cornerback. I like his size. Absolutely love it. 6'3", 6'4", 200 pounds, has really long arms, number one press corner in the draft, 397 snaps, true man-to-man guy who can also flourish in the zone, never gave a touchdown up throughout his entire college career at Cincinnati. And the American Athletic Conference is a pretty good conference. I thought he played really well against Alabama in the college football playoff. Gave up 14 yards on 4 targets in that game against the Crimson Tide. 43.4 career completion percentage against him, 60 of 138 attempts. Like, this cat is really, really good. At number 11, I think he's going to be available. After that, I do not think so. Who are your favorite NFL draft prospects for Niner Faithful? He might say Sauce Gardner, with the long arms, with the size, with the range, with his leaping ability. Very good athlete as well, but you let me know who your favorite NFL draft prospects is and are in the comment section right now. BK from the Bay, what it do, my guy? So what would it take for the 49ers, in your opinion, to acquire TB12? So a couple of things would have to happen. If Tom Brady were to go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they would have to trade him, which I think is pretty unrealistic because his cap hit for next year and the dead money that would be on Tampa Bay's watch would be exorbitant. And I'm not even sure if they'd be able to make it possible. What I think Tom Brady is doing, he retired, never mentioned retirement or retire or retiring in his farewell statement. It was kind of a Tampa Bay farewell statement. So what I think Tom Brady is doing, he's buying some time by retiring to let the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go after another veteran quarterback. And by doing so, they wouldn't need Tom Brady back. So if he were to come out of retirement, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could outright release him. Then he's free to sign with any team, and they wouldn't have to owe him any money, and they wouldn't have to eat all of that dead cap. So that kind of answers your question. If he becomes a free agent, it's just whatever you want to sign him to on a contract in NFL free agency. For a trade, Jimmy Garoppolo and a pick, maybe, if Tom Brady's desperate to get out of Tampa. Christian Reyes with this. Should we draft Andrew Booth? I like Andrew Booth. We actually just talked about him on our live show, on our Draft Targets video. I think anybody in that realm is a good target and a good player for San Francisco to go after in the upcoming NFL draft. They really do have to target the secondary, whether that be cornerback, whether that be safety. And if they move on from Jaquiski Tartt, safety becomes of the utmost importance. But Andrew Booth, with what he was able to do at Clemson, very good player. Now, these are the 5 defensive back targets at number 11 that could be on the radar for San Francisco if Washington trades away that number 11 pick, Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley Jr., Sauce Gardner, Trent McDuffie, as well as Andrew Booth. I just don't know if Washington's going to trade away that 11th pick. I'd be surprised if they did do that for Jimmy G, but they are desperate to win. So going back to this question for BK from the Bay, do you think we will trade Jimmy G to Washington so we can get into the first round? What are your thoughts? Really, that all comes down to what Washington wants to do. How desperate are they going to be on the quarterback market? And a couple of things could lead into this. Does Aaron Rodgers go back to the Packers? Does he retire? If he doesn't want to get moved elsewhere, that takes an elite quarterback off the market. If Russell Wilson goes back to Seattle, that takes yet another quarterback off the market. What the hell's going to happen with Deshaun Watson's legal situation? I used to cover local news in Pennsylvania prior to coming to Chat Sports, and these legal situations, they can last years. Now, when you have the money of Deshaun Watson and the fame and the profile of the significance, then I think you can find a way to resolve these, but if he's found guilty, he's not going to be made available. So then, does Jimmy Garoppolo become one of the most sought-after quarterback options this offseason? And with that, his value would really, really rise and blossom and bloom. So then Washington might be like, hey, we have a team that's ready to win now. We're desperate. We'll give away and justify sending away the number 11 pick for Jimmy G. George with this one. Chase, you think we should re-sign Raheem Mostert? Look, a few months ago, I didn't think they should have because he's in his late 20s. He's been injury prone. And with the youth movement in the backfield, I like what San Francisco is doing. I think Elijah Mitchell's a stud. We saw that. Top 5 in yards per game among all running backs, this year. Trey Sermon, I like him. But if you bring those two back, you need a pass catching back. You need a third down back. Why not Raheem Mostert? Now, I think what's also in play is the Miami Dolphins. I think they might overpay for Raheem Mostert because Mike McDaniel is there. He has familiarity with him, and he's a master in the run game, and he might find a way to unleash Raheem Mostert. And for Mostert, that might be a desirable location. But I've warmed up to the idea of bringing Mostert back, especially if it's cheap. You know, it's a really good deal, kind of like Raheem Mostert. This fresh 49er sweatshirt got a nice little zipper, and the color combination on this thing, absolutely beautiful. You can cop it right now, get some fresh 49ers gear because, let's face it, it's the end of February, we're going into March, and I don't care where you live, unless you're in like Florida when it gets really hot. It can get cold this time of year. So get this 49ers hoodie right now thanks to our friends at Fanatics by simply plugging in that link down below. It's chatsports.com/49swag. Mike with this one. Trade Jimmy G to the Colts for DeForest Buckner. Reunite with DeForest Buckner. Now, Indianapolis loved getting him, and they certainly signed him to that big contract. Bringing on that contract would be prohibitive for the Niners, but you'd also be getting rid of some money on the cap by trading away Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not sure that's what you want back for Jimmy G. I think there are other needs. The interior of this defensive line is pretty good. Now, we'll see what happens with DJ Jones in NFL free agency, as well as Arden Key. They were great as interior pass rushers. I think Charles Omenihu really came on late in the year. He could replace Arden Key if he needed to, but I'd rather get back a first or second round pick for Garoppolo if possible, and maybe a cornerback over a player like DeForest Buckner. If you love the San Francisco 49ers, I want you to show me in the comment section right now by spamming San Francisco. Show me you love the squad. Show me your true colors. Show me that you support the channel by spamming that down below. Shawn Lewis, should the Niners avoid signing veteran defensive backs and keep the cap space free for Bosa and Deebo Samuel? A cheap and affordable defensive back? No. My team building philosophy has always been this on the defensive side of the football. Find pass rushers, get after the quarterback, and if you're able to generate a consistent pass rush, you can get away with not paying big, exorbitant salaries to defensive backs. And I think that team building practice is a smart way to build in today's NFL. It's a pass-happy league, folks. But if a quarterback doesn't have time to throw and they're consistently under siege and under pressure, then their day is going to be long and they're not going to have the time to pick apart a weak secondary. All year, this 49ers secondary was mediocre, average, maybe even less than that at some points. Why was this Niners defense one of the best in the NFL from week 10 on? It was the pass rush. So you always want to save money to load up on the defensive line because that's really the pillar of your defense. The homie Wet Noodle 187, what do you think about sending a 4th-round pick to Baltimore for Marcus Peters and you sign DJ Reed? I wouldn't hate it. Peters coming off that torn ACL, so that concerns you a little bit. But with the modern advancements that we've made in modern-day medicine, it's not really a severe injury as much as it used to be. DJ Reed's a pretty solid player. That right there would allow you to really fortify your back end. With Marcus Peters, yeah, some people don't like his attitude. I kind of like the swagger and the confidence that he has there on an island. Bizz NiNergang with the $5 super chat. Thanks for supporting the show, guy. You think they will start Lance or a vet? Also, please subscribe. Homie, I appreciate that. Please subscribe. And if you ain't subscribed, homie, you ain't alive. I think that they will start. This is my feeling as of now, as we sit here at the end of February. I think the 49ers are going to start Trey Lance. I don't think they're going to make a trade for Aaron Rodgers. I think there's a chance that Tom Brady does sign with the 49ers as a free agent, not as a trade chip. I think they start Trey Lance, and I think they sign a veteran backup quarterback. A lot of really good ones hitting the market. Jameis Winston, Teddy Bridgewater, Tyrod Taylor, Jeremy Fowler saying this week that the 49ers have some interest in Marcus Mariota. Those are really good backup quarterback options behind Trey Lance. That's the direction in which I would go at the end of February as we sit here today. If you're subscribed to the channel, really good timing on that super chat. Get into the comments section and type real one. If you're subscribed, you're a real one. And I want to shout out some of our loyal subscribers and show you some love. And I know all of you who are subscribed are real ones. Haneef, what are the chances that the 49ers trade Jimmy G for an early second-round pick and a third-round pick and then trade up into the first round and get a premier cornerback like Derek Stingley Jr.? So it would take a lot for them to get Derek Stingley Jr. Maybe it's Washington's pick at number 11 if they trade away that selection for Jimmy G. I don't think Derek Stingley Jr. will be available in the back half of that first round. And to move up to even the middle portion of the second round, I don't think a second and a third round pick does it unless it's a trade with, let's say, the Philadelphia Eagles. They own 3 first-round selections. Do they want to stack up some picks in the second and third round, knowing that they have 2 other picks if they trade the other one? Maybe. But I don't think Stingley will fall that far. That's part of the problem. Maybe a guy like Trent McDuffie, though. Maybe a guy like Sauce Gardner falls. Like, there are going to be some options because cornerback of the utmost importance for this football team. Big Rob, what do you think about Christian McCaffrey talk? I don't think it's worth the money. So FanSided threw out an idea of Christian McCaffrey getting traded to the 49ers. And there have been some rumblings about the Carolina Panthers wanting to move on from him. FanSided is really the first place that came up with that idea. And I'm actually going to hit it this week on the 49ers Report if you're watching us live. Because Kyle Shanahan with Christian McCaffrey, that could cause a lot of damage to opposing defenses. I mean, to have him, we look at Deebo Samuel as a wide back. I think Christian McCaffrey could be a slot wide receiver. Like, he could do a lot of the same things as a Cooper Kupp in this offense. I really do believe that. And you kind of save him a little bit by him not just solely being a running back, making a lot of money, though. Now, at the time, I really liked the contract in which he was signed to because he could play running back as well as wide receiver, and I thought that was going to save his body. Unfortunately, a bunch of soft tissue injuries. I would be shocked if the 49ers make a play for him because I know Kyle Shanahan would just fawn over the possibilities of what Christian McCaffrey can do in his offense. 49ers have a lot of really good free agents who are set to hit the open market. Which 49ers free agent are you worried about losing? Let me know in the comment section right now and give me some names.